Would you like more music or
Let's do.
still ISS?
Hi, how are you? Good. Good. Well, that's looking nice. There we go. And we on 27 dB too? Good. Okay. Well, well, well. Everything takes time to be perfect. Yeah. Okay. Second. Um, okay, so let's see. Uh, Hello, Rianne. It's Lon, the Global Classroom. Can you hear me nice and clearly? Let's see. Oh, very good. Wow. Everything's starting to work really well. Yeah, Chanel. All right. Chanel's there, Rianne's there, and Maureen's got everything under control. I'm going to just gradually shut the doors and. Oh, okay. Guess I get a little bit of water before we start. And well, I guess I'll put this over here today. Wow, look at that. Nice. We got, okay. We're going to start in 2 or 3 minutes. Just getting everything very good. Uh, okay. Very good. Would you be able to sit? Would you be able to just sit here, just so we can see the back? That's all. Just move, just one in, right here, so we can see the back of your head. That's it. Good. And you, yeah. It's just here. That's fine. That way we got everybody in the frame. Thanks. Okay. Okay, so we got sustain it. Okay. Wow. What do we got here? Okay. Yeah, 2 minutes, I guess we can start. How are you? Good. I'm good, thanks. Okay. Why this my microphone is? Oh, I know why. I think maybe my microphone is good. Keep this down here. Uh, okay. Just going to give you all something for an event that's going to be taking place. You're all welcome to come. Maureen is organizing the global classroom that's coming in the global classroom, Colin and Hillel. Yeah, okay. You can invite your friends and peace by chocolate. We want peace in the world. Got enough war and conflict. How about peace? Peace. Yeah, here you go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me get my notes. Yeah, I think we can get going. And lovely. Maybe I'll just do the final door so that we have good sound. And wow. Okie dokie. Everything's working. The spacecraft we call a classroom. It's a lot of fun to be able to kind of create a new form of classroom that makes learning a lot more interesting for me to teach in. Hopefully, it will be for you to learn in. At any rate, welcome everyone to Humanities Destiny, class number 5. And you have an assignment due tomorrow, your first one, and everything is posted on DC Connect for you. But if you have any questions, we will address them soon. I just want to get everything set up, and I'm glad that somebody has just walked in. I think his name is Archer, right? Yeah, Archer, excellent, because he's reminding me, if I don't forget, to talk about Repair Cafe again, okay? Because I want to get you definitely into this because you had your hand up last week. Absolutely, okay? So we will get to that momentarily, but essentially for today's class, come on in. We are going to look at a very big question. And last week we started to address this idea of what the next big thing might be that is coming. And I was hoping that we could review some of the points that we didn't really have a chance to touch on, but there's too much new stuff to present today. So I'm going to essentially jump into that and maybe save the review till later if we have a chance. But more importantly, is we need to talk about sustainability today and the question of can we sustain it? And the it is a big question. We have to address that. But that's what today's class is going to be all about is can we sustain it? Before we do that, I want to continue with something I started, I think, last week, where I made sure I got the names of everybody for the in-person attendance. Did I do that last week? Good. So I'm going to do it again to make sure everybody gets the proper marks they deserve. If you're here in person, you only need to post that question and nothing more. And I want to make sure that that's done always properly. So let me get that sort of out of the way, and then we're going to come back and we'll talk a bit about Repair Cafe. And then Mayreen is going to present a little something for you today before we start talking about sustainability. This idea of the city of the future. And on the big dashboard behind me, you were seeing at the beginning Coldplay, the British band, playing at the last World Expo in Dubai in 2021. And Mayreen happened to be working there at the time as a tour guide, and she's going to show us something from there today that is really interesting tech that also helps us to understand something about the next big thing that might be coming in technology. And so we're going to look at that, and then we're going to really start to explore this idea of the it, sustaining it. And so nice to see all of you. Let's see. So we'll start over here, okay? That's Vanch, right? Vanch, good. And if I remember correctly, you had mentioned that you had an idea. You thought maybe we could do a debate. You had. Can I just ask you, what were you thinking the debate might be on? Is technology? Okay, very interesting. Um, I am actually thinking today for our little activity that I might start doing something around that. So we will return to that a little bit later, okay? But that's great about the sort of more positive aspects of tech. The, the reality is we live in the machine age, and it's only getting more involved for all of us. So, excuse me, your relationship with technology is an ongoing thing. And I hope that this class will help you to understand how to make it a positive relationship for your life. That's the idea of technology, we hope, is that it's going to liberate and empower humans more, not restrict, enslave, and cause all sorts of other problems. But to answer that question, Vanch, as we get to it, will depend on a bigger question, which is, are you an optimist or a pessimist? Well, we're going to put that to test a little bit later because all the optimists are going to go to one side of the couches and all the pessimists are going to go to the other side. And let's see how that shakes down. Okay? We will start that. But thanks for the debate idea. Of course, your friend is with you. Nice to see you again. And you're always welcome. The idea of a classroom is that everybody can learn and everybody can participate, and we're all enjoying it. That's my idea. Okay, so next it's Piyush. Yeah, Piyush. Piyush. And then, of course, Jazeel. And no, it's not Ethan. It is Ethan. Oh, wow. Okay. God, I'm feeling really good right now. Okay. And then Ronash. Roma, R O RAU. I was way off on that. Sorry. Okay. So Ramash, Colin, of course. Colin Montague, right? Hmm, good. Sujil. Sujit. Okay. Hillel. I know. Yeah. Uh, Ryan. Travis. Dari. Okay. That's another Ryan. Sorry. Thank you, Ryan. And then Kayla. Right. Kayla. Oh, yes. Yeah, you're doing some good writing, if I remember, in your reflections or something. Well, what program are you in? Paralegal. Yeah, I think if I paralegals, I find are very responsible and very on top of things. So that's good. Archer, of course, but Lynn and Lynn. It's a Lynn. Faith Lynn. Yeah, thank you. Okay, memory has to work. Okay, memory has to work without me reaching for a machine, you know? So I don't want to reach for a machine. And then it's not Gigi. No, no, Gigi Ray. It was, uh, yes, it's E. You're, oh, I would not have gotten that. I was going somewhere else. Okay, Yura. Ear starts with an E, but it's pronounced Era. Double E. Wow. Era, I'm just curious, where do you come from originally? Really? We haven't had to. Oh, of course. Now I remember. Yeah. Brave Era. Brave Era. Very good. Okay. So, and of course, I'm Lon. And then let's see who's in the cosmos with us, outer space. Chanel and Shika and Rianne. Where's okay, Rianne's there too, but that's well, anyways. Hmm? She left? Okay, so she's gone, but she may come back. Does she? Okay, it depends. Out there in the cosmos, things happen on other planets. And there's Santo. All right. So we did that. Now, I want to just touch on the Repair Cafe for the moment, and then we are going to go to City of the Future. You need to be out of here by 1:45, right? Okay, so let's see. Hold on a second. Of course, I'm trying to do too much. As always, would you just pull that jacket? You see, it's me dealing with technology and complexity, and thanks. You can just throw that jacket anywhere. Okay, thanks a lot, Irene. The tech. Let me take see this hat. Here we go. Repair Cafe. I talked about that last week. Here's what's happening. I just had a meeting today with the group from the Global Leader class who are getting ready to organize the first Repair Cafe in the global classroom on December the 11th. It will be the final Wednesday of the semester. If there are any of you who would like to join that team, Repair Cafe, and have your final assignment built around that whole event of putting the event on in the global classroom, could you please send me an email? Okay, just send me a quick email. Today, tomorrow, but in the next 48, 72 hours, just to let me know that you definitely want to be involved, okay? I know you do for sure, because I remember even as I was driving home last week, I remember Archer's hand was like, this guy wants in, which is great, okay? I take it that you like to fix things. Okay, so you can put this on, just don't take it away. Just you can be a Repair Cafe honorary fixer for today, but that's my hat. Okay, just we'll get you a hat in the future. But there we go, Archer. And you have to tell me how you did your hair so well, because I might want to try that too. Sometime. Not much hair left if I get my hair growing here. Right. Okay. So that's Repair Cafe. And finally, before Maureen comes and shows us something really interesting about tech, do any of you have any questions or anything on your mind that you would like to address before we get this spacecraft up and launched? Faith Lynn, let's get you the microphone. Okay. And remember karaoke? So everybody can hear you. Please go ahead.
It says that assignment one is due on Thursday.
Yes, that's right. That's tomorrow. What's that? Do you want me to tell? That you know, because I can help you. Okay, it's okay. Colin can explain it if you want to know more detail about it.
Was this assigned?
Was it assigned?
When was it?
It was posted last week
Okay.
or maybe even earlier. Assignment one. I've now posted assignment two as well. That's not due until October 17th. Okay, but you want some background on assignment one, or you? Well, is it just what we talked about, or is there something else there, Colin? That, okay. I'll give it to you very simply, okay? Just so it's clear. You are going to think back on the classes we've held so far and think about one thing, one key point that stands out to you and explain why. Now, some students, what they do is they will actually take each class and they will write what is the key point in each class so far. That's good too, but you don't have to do that. What I'm really just asking you to do is just think of one key thing that is standing out for you and explain why. So let's try this for a second, just off the top of your head, okay? Kayla, have you submitted your first assignment already? Yeah, I thought you had. So why don't you just tell us, did you do each class or did you just do one idea? You did three? Okay, that's fine. So let's hear what Kayla did for a second, okay? And Faith Lynn, you can hear what she did.
So I talked about love, history's lessons, and the next big thing. For love, I talked about how it related to my personal experience. And then for history's lessons, I talked about how it actually related to me because I did talk in that class about how I thought I wasn't going to have a future.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I related it to that. And then the next big thing, I talked about how I was interested in how technology was going to evolve.
Right.
And I even mentioned that I had seen a robot at Walmart cleaning the floors.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting. So that's kind of where I went with my reflection.
Great.
So that's what I did.
So she picked three things. She didn't have to do three. She could have just taken the robot, or she could have just taken love, or she could have taken something else. But that's fine. She took one thing from each of those three classes that you've reviewed, and she submitted it very early too. If you did that, you submit early like that for your final assignment at the end for 30%, you'll get a 10% bonus on that. Okay, so that's coming much later. So that's much later for your final assignment, later in the semester. No, it's your big assignment of the semester. Come on in, okay? Yeah, come grab a seat. If you just or sit in here or just between Ramesh and Ryan, just between the two, so we can see you guys in the frame. But otherwise, so good, Faith Lynn. Any other questions before we? I want to make sure Maureen gets out of here by 1:45. She has to be somewhere. Okay, then here we go. We're going to start with first the city of the future and the idea of this next big thing that we've been dealing with. Just to remind you, by way of just setting up Maureen a little bit more in terms of what she's going to show you, we have already talked about Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan. Well, actually, the idea of presenting the global classroom at Expo, the world's great fair of science and technology, was originally Maureen's idea a few years ago when she was a student of mine and she was a volunteer tour guide at Expo 2020, it was called, but then because of the pandemic, it was then held in 2021. And she actually was there in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, shooting things, videos for us, did a documentary in the global classroom, and other things. And her fascination with science and tech is just great, and something that we really celebrate in this space. And I thought that it would be really helpful for her to just give you a little taste of what sort of the next big thing was being explored at Expo a few years ago with some video that she shot there, and she's going to take you through some very sophisticated technology that was presented there that gives you a kind of a sense of what humanity is thinking about in terms of the use of technology for the future. And after that, we'll let Mayreen go, and then we're going to talk about this whole question of sustaining it. That's the big part of today's class, and we're going to get into our groups, optimists and pessimists. So, are you ready to go ahead and show it? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So I'm just going to pull this up. Okay. So essentially, this is a virtual tour. It's immersive, and you can tour the Mobility Pavilion, also known as the Elif Pavilion. It takes us through the story of mobility. So it takes us to the past and then talks about the present. And we're actually now going to enter the future to see what our future looks like, or what a city of future could look like in the near future. Um, so we'll go here. And then you wanted me to show the video?
Sure. Yeah.
So
Let's take a look at some
this was
interesting
what
tech.
the pavilion looked like when you go into the future bit of it. And I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna use this for audio.
Can we increase the size of that, the video? Is it possible to stretch it out a little bit, or is it?
Probably not.
Probably not? Okay. Well, take a look for a moment at this short scene of what this young person is doing. Okay? And we'll try to enlarge, but we may not be able to. And that's okay. We can see enough. You can see enough. And for those of you watching online, you should be able to see this clearly. Let's see. Rianne, are you with us still? Or are you? No? Okay. Let's see. Chanel, can you see in the middle panel right now that little video playing? Okay. Chanel, are you able to get on your microphone and tell us what you're seeing? Maybe not. Okay. It's not allowing me to. Okay. Do you want to go back and show it again? And then we'll go to the next video. Just take a look at this image and little scene from one of the pavilions, and you will see something about technology that, okay. It is? Okay. Is there one? Okay. That's fine. So we see a boy who had an image in front of him. He's manipulating, and then we see someone else in another location who's also moving the same thing. And now there he is, and they are interacting. We can look at this one more time, just so you understand the technology and the way the technology is being used. We might say that what you're seeing is the next big thing. The question is, what is it? Okay? So one more time, maybe. Let's just see. And then we'll go to the next one. City of the future. 4 years ago, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, this was being presented at what's called the Sustainability Pavilion. Yeah. The Mobility Pavilion. The Mobility Pavilion. we see two people in two different locations, and they are working with an animated virtual display. And then one person from another location is coming in like a holograph, and they are interacting. Huh. And now they're sitting together, and they're creating together. Let's go to the next. Are you able to go to the next video? You can take us there. The three videos that we've selected just give you a taste of some of the technology that humans are beginning to really work with. What would we see here? We would describe this as two people in two different locations, pretty straightforward. But then we've superimposed that digital image on something else, and we have a kind of, again, a larger image that people are working with in a kind of a virtual world where they are real people, but they're also embedded in a virtual world at the same time. What do we call that? Something you're probably familiar with to some extent in video games or others. Archer? Simulation? Exactly, simulation. And we're dealing with this idea of integrating the human with technology in a much more involved way. But what's the point? That's what I want you to think about. Why are we doing this? Just because it's cool? Jazeel? Sure, it could have medical applications. Let's go to the next one. Okay, let's see. We'll try the audio and see if we can hear it. Go ahead. Let's see. For those watching online, we can post this later for audio. But let's see for all of you here. Let's see if we can hear this.
Hey man, we need to improve the city. Yeah, our competition score is too far down. But let's restart and try again. Okay, Hakim, please reset the city to the last saved version.
Reset commencing. Last saved version loading.
Okay, first, let's move all transportation underground. Great. How about turning more roads into tunnels? Nice. And let's add some more parks, trees, plants. Awesome. Hakim, what's our score now?
Calculating happiness index. Incremental improvement. Air quality index up by 6%. Health index up by 2.1%. Happiness score unchanged.
I don't get it. What's holding back our happiness score? Maybe harmony? Harmony?
The harmony indicator is showing how well the city has adapted to its citizens and their physical environment.
What do you mean?
It looks at how well people's practical and emotional needs are met by the city.
Well, in that case, I've got an idea. But we have to go inside. Okay. Hakim, let's use our avatars.
Okay. Rendering full-size city. Avatars successfully deployed.
Okay, watch this. I think it will work. Nature. Let's get back to our roots. Oh man, that's amazing. I know, right? We can now use much more than steel and glass. Yeah, we can do better. How about this? Some changes for people. Nice. That's not what I meant. Right. How can we go back to nature again? More trees?
Stop for a second. You have a
Not just that.
sense of the way that we are combining people in different locations and actual real people with some imagined, simulated, virtual world that is seamlessly knitted together to create something bigger, something more interesting for people to work with in their minds. Let's go to the third one, okay? And then we'll stop because I know you have to go at 1:45. There was one other video that we thought was interesting in just giving you a sense of how we are imagining the way we will use technology in our lives.
Good morning, Shamsa. I'm worried about Saeed's design project. Hakima. Good morning, Shamsa. I'm worried about Saeed's design project. He needs a much higher score to win. How can we help? Well, I have these butterfly sensors for my school project. How would you use them? The city needs to know what the people want. Sensing emotions? Yes. The city can change itself to make the people happier. That's an interesting idea. How can we make you better?
Just, you can't. Okay, we'll let it run out.
There.
What I see that maybe you don't immediately see in these kinds of scenes, or maybe you do, is that the air around us, the air around you, is empty now. Well, what if it's not? What if around you, as you're moving through the day, you have things to look at that are digitally put into the air and that you can change those things with your phone or with something? Think about that for a moment. Think about the idea that we are beginning to bring the electronic virtual world into our lives, not on a screen in front of you, but actually moving around you and giving you information and even allowing you to manipulate those things the way the young woman here, the girl, is manipulating a ball. Why are we doing this? Like, this is what I want you to think about when we look at these questions of the next big things in technology. They are so cool and so interesting. Of course, I don't think there's anybody here who would watch this video and not find it kind of interesting, although maybe you see many more sophisticated things already online in the video games you play or anything else. But the question is, why are we doing it? That's what we're going to explore today. Okay? So, Maureen, is there anything else that you want to add in terms of what you saw at the mobility pavilion that was really sophisticated tech that might be a kind of example of something that's coming in the future for us? Anything that you can, anything that you remember that sort of stood out for you, that was even the coffee maker? I remember there was something that she showed me. You can even describe that, but something where we are using technology in ways that is taking us further now, the human being further. Go ahead.
Well, in terms of, because the topic today is sustainability,
Yes.
one of the sub themes of the last expo was sustainability, and they had the pavilion there. It was called the Terra Pavilion. similar to how this is the mobility pavilion called Elif. And that building that they had for the sustainability pavilion was an example because um, it was self-sufficient, so it would generate its own water, its own electricity, and it was one of a kind because it was the first type of building like that to self-serve and be in the middle of a desert. So their idea was to have uh, buildings or like properties like this that will be able to provide like the water, the energy, and also be sustainable. So I think that was one of the most interesting um, things I saw being in terms of sustainability, just because it was a desert and you were able to get fresh water, and all of the exhibits that were inside was all powered by solar panels that
Yep.
was on top of the pavilion. So if you actually take a look at it, because there's a virtual tour for that as well, it talks about sustainability and what it is humanity's destiny essentially in that pavilion. It
Yes.
talks about like all the plastic and everything. Like there's a heavy emphasis on all of that.
And for example, with the plastic,
Mhm.
what are we going to be doing with the plastic? Did it talk about that?
A lot of the things inside that pavilion was like getting people to make choices. So as you walk through that sustainability pavilion, there's
Yes.
like a little like a lever that you like punch down depending on which choice you make. So they ask you like questions about how sustainable you are.
Yes.
And I found that very interesting because there's little pictures around the pavilion, and it actually is like advertisements of uh, like basically if it's the future. So you know how we have like the iPhone.
Yes.
There was like an iPhone 20 or something, and it talked about like the negative effects, like in terms of sustainability,
Right.
and then how we have to kind of better ourselves and like be more cautious of the environment.
Right. And it was also, wasn't it tracking the decisions you make at
Yes,
the end? It creates an avatar
that's the Japanese
based on
pavilion. Yes.
your decisions. It shows you what you look like based on your decisions that you've made. A kind of a visual representation of you based on the decisions. At any rate, please think about these bigger questions now of what is the technology doing for us exactly that might improve our lives? And I want to get to the main part, but I think I can let you go. And you can leave that up there for now. And we'll leave, why don't we, yeah, that's great. You can just leave the map. Uh, okay, so this is just by way of sort of teasing you a little bit, whetting your appetite for the big part of today's class. And what I'd like to do is just get you set up for an activity that I've planned, and it all has to do with this question of, can we sustain this? Now, what do I mean by that? Sustainability is a very important question today. Our technological expansion today is compelling for everybody. We could spend a lot of time in this class talking about all the new tech that's coming, and it's coming, no question about it. This is just a small tip of the iceberg of what you can expect in your lifetime, new kinds of technologies. The question is, can we sustain this growth? When we talk about sustainability today, we have to address a bigger question around, is this kind of growth in science and technology that involves creating so many new things, extracting so many resources from the planet in order to build these tools? Think of the lithium, for example, in your batteries. Lithium doesn't grow on trees, although other things grow on trees that we may grab, talk to you later. But do you know where lithium comes from? A mine. Where might that mine be? Africa? Africa. China? But let's stick to Africa for a moment, okay? Let's stick to Africa. Do you know which part of Africa produces a lot of lithium for the rest of the world? Which country in Africa? Huh. Yeah, the Congo. Democratic Republic of the Congo, in the center part of Africa. Um, just are the people there rich? So, wait a minute. They've got this great resource, lithium, but they're not rich because of it? Why is that?
I would say most countries with heavy rich resources like the African continent, and I would say I would add some Arab, uh, Middle Eastern nations too. If some of them, there are some the Middle Eastern nations are actually outliers, but most of the naturally rich resource countries are poor, generally very poor. Their economy is how should I say, more catered towards building those mines. So I would say they do not have the population to maintain those technologically rich industries.
And,
And
but also, um, they um, believe that exporting those things to the rest of the world can make them more money too.
that's true.
And the people who actually do the extracting of those resources are paid very little, if anything. Just to give you another example, okay, and then we'll move on in a moment. You know, about 150 years ago, Saudi Arabia, this amazing country that you can see between the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf, the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, if you look at the map, um, there had been no oil discovered there yet. And it was a very, very poor part of the world. But then this resource, oil, was discovered there in great volume and was processed and sent around the world. And a very small group of people in Saudi Arabia, we call them the sheiks, became very, very rich from the oil. But many people in that country never saw a cent from the profits of that resource. What I'm trying to help you to understand is our modern world, this world that we have right now, this connected, entangled global world where we have all of these things, clothes, products, even ideas developed in other parts of the world and moving around the world, actually creates an imbalance sometimes, an inequality that leads to a lot of people suffering. And in addition to that, we have another problem, which is the waste that we are creating from the making of all of these products is causing difficulties for the environment. So when we ask this question, can we sustain it? What we're actually asking is, can we sustain this modern civilization with all of these things that we have, or are we going to be paying a great price for this down the road in terms of more damage to people and to the environment? How do we go forwards? How do we go forwards and create this amazing technology without causing difficulties and damage and suffering for others who are not sharing in that technology or not providing the also assistance to build their own technologies? Can we sustain this progress? We are living at a time of huge technological progress that is making all of our lives in some ways more connected and more interesting. But can we sustain this? That's the only question I'm going to ask now. And then we're going to take this up after you do this activity, because here's what I'd like you to do. All of you who would say that you would answer that question with optimism, that you feel that we're going to be able to deal with any problems that come up with our rapid growth on this planet, and we're moving in the right direction. And I'm generally optimistic about the way that human beings are going to apply their technologies. I'm generally optimistic about the way that we create these technologies, how we extract resources, and how we build these technologies. I think that it's going to be okay because there's so much good that's going to come out of this. How many of you would say that you're generally optimistic about the human future? Raise a hand. Okay, excellent. Okay, so Vanch, could you come over here, please, and sit here? And Hillel, could you come sit with Vanch? And who was the third? It was Sujil. Sujil, would you come and sit here with this and just move over beside? Yeah, just a second. Okay, hold on. Watch what's going to happen. I'm going to divide the class into the optimists, the ones who are kind of in the middle, and then the pessimists. And then we're going to have a little discussion about this. So, Vanch, actually, we're beginning today to have a little bit of a debate, but not the debate that you thought, but it's just the beginning. So, for those of you online, just wait for a moment. I will come to you in a moment. But for now, am I to assume that the rest of you are pessimistic, or that you're sort of somewhere in between? So, Kayla, Kayla, you sit there. Colin, are you somewhere? You're a realist. So you'd say a realist is in the middle. Okay. So Colin and Kayla are going to be together. This is the middle. Jazeel, realist. You would sit over here with them. Okay. Let's see. All right. And Piyush, optimist, pessimist, realist. Question is, what is real? You know, realism, but we'll get to that. But optimistic? Generally about how we're going to use our technologies, how we're going to make our technologies, how we're going to extract resources. Are you pessimistic? You're a realist? Okay, let's go in here. So Faith Lynn is there. Archer, pessimistic? Definitely pessimistic. Okay. And Ida, pessimistic? Okay, good. Pessimist here, realist? Ethan, realist? Okay, can you come and sit in here? Okay. And pessimistic? Realist? Okay, good. Ooh, usually it's the pessimists who have the biggest. Let's see what the realists have to say today. Okay, I'll help you with that. And then Ramesh, pessimistic, optimistic? Okay, come sit here. Okay. Could you come sit over here with Ida on this couch, just so we can get a good visual on this? Okay. Now, Ryan, real? Optimist? Okay. We got to establish what that middle is going to look like. I've never seen the middle so big. This is interesting, okay? Middle two, middle, Ryan, middle, and then pessimistic, optimistic. Oh, come over here, please. Very interesting. Okay. So we have two pessimists. And Vanch, well, she can participate. I don't know. She's not officially registered in the class. So she's observing. She's the witness. She's the witness. Okay. We always need a witness. You just have to take good notes. Tell us what you saw very clearly. Okay, so we have, I just want to get a proper record of this now. We have pessimists, we have realists, and we have optimists right here, all in the circle. Now, Chanel, Santol, and Sangam, would you please put in the live chat right now how you see yourself in this? Optimistic, pessimistic, somewhere in the middle? Go ahead and put that in the live chat, and I will take that up with you momentarily. Okay. So now we need to pessimistic, Santol. Okay. So Santol, you're over here with Ida and Archer. Okay. Good. We need to add a little bit more power to this group. I may even join you just to help you out. Okay. Here's what we need to do. The optimists need to have a little chat. And you need to be able to be ready to explain to the rest of the class why you're optimistic. Okay, so I'm going to give you that time to have a little chat. All right? So you can start that, okay? The realists, I need to break you into two groups so that you can all contribute, okay? So we have realist group number one here, and then we have the squeeze, the realist. You can sit on the stools if you want, if you need a little more space, but please have a conversation and try to explain to me what realistic means in this whole future that we're talking about. Does it mean that we have to use these technologies but be careful? Does it mean we have to think of a whole new way of looking at our technologies in order for it to be practical, in order for everybody to benefit? Try to think about what you mean by realistic exactly, because the middle ground may not be where humanity is actually going right now. We're moving fast and we want to move really, really quickly into the future. So realism isn't always part of this. Invention is. How do you make invention something that's realistic? Faith Lynn. Well, the ones, for example, that we saw, think about what you saw in the video, just really simple, or from last week when we were having our class as well in the next big thing, and we were talking about some new technologies. But think for a moment, Faith Lynn, of what did you see that Maureen showed? What were those people doing with that sort of simulated image? They were creating stuff, but the stuff wasn't real. Okay? An electronic model, a simulated model. That's technology that we're using, but for what purpose? It's sophisticated technology. Are we ready for this, Faith Lynn? You're walking through the day, and all around you, you can actually see things in front of you digitally. Your to-do list in front of you. You put it up in the air, bing, bing, bing. It disappears because you're controlling it with your iPhone. You want to talk to somebody, boom, up comes that person in front of you, and you're talking like this while you're sitting on a bus, but it's just you're talking to basically air because only you can see that. Everybody around you on the bus sees you talking to the air. Are we ready for that kind of interaction with technology? We'll see. You have a discussion about that. How slow should it be? And the same with you, okay? With this group here, and I'll check back in with you in 10 or 15 minutes, okay? So please start. And while they're doing that, and they're discussing, Santo, pessimistic, and I see Ashika, Sangam, Chanel. I don't see anything from all of you, so I'm going to bring something for you. Okay, so I'm going to have a little chat here with. Thanks, Chanel. Santol. Excellent. Okay, so Chanel and Santol, please in the live chat now explain why. Okay, let's start seeing a why. Chanel, why are you optimistic about the idea that we will soon have a way to put digital images in the air in front of us and interact with those images through the day? Not on your screen, but in the air around you. Why are you optimistic about that? Santo? Same. Why are you pessimistic about something like that? Let's see what you put in the live chat, okay? Great. Optimism about the human future. Chanel, in the live chat, tell me 3 things that you are optimistic about, and I will put it on the smart board for everybody, okay? And then I'm going to come to Santol, and we're going to do the same. So, Chanel, great. There's Santol, pessimism. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to come over. Optimism about the human future, and then there is pessimism. Pessimism about the human future. So that's what we're looking at right now. Good, Santol. I'm going to come to that in a moment. We're looking at optimism about the human future, pessimism about the human future, and realism about the human future. Okay. So we've got these 3 points that we're going to do. Pessimism, optimism, and, excuse me, great. So the discussion is going. We've got things going in the live chat. And I'm just going to come back here for the moment and see how that's working. Great. Okay, so I'm still talking to the live chat. Pessimism. Are you ready to really talk about? Okay, good. I think you won't have any problem. Yeah, you're ready. Yeah, I know Ira is. Okay. It's okay, as long as you're ready. Maybe we'll give you 2 stools and you can sit, but no, you'll sit over there. That's good. Okay, a few more minutes. Good. Got the huddle going. Chanel, you haven't really explained why you are optimistic. I'm looking at that right now. You're telling me that you think something's going to happen, but why are you feeling good about it? Going wrong. Yeah. So, Santa, there's so much going wrong. Good. And it's just going to get worse. Santo, what do you think is the worst thing that could happen in the human future that really makes you a pessimist? What's going to happen? What do you see? I'm asking you to use your imagination because that's all we can do in this class. It's all about looking ahead. What do you see happening in the next 50 years in your lifetime? Okay? Please think about that. Okay, 2 minutes. And then I'm going to do a little something new today. Santol, are you able to get on your microphone and interact? Just, you don't have to share your video, but are you able to get on your microphone? Chanel, you too, are you able? Is there a microphone there or just live chat? Okay, that's fine. We'll work with the live chat. It's just not as fast. Okay, 1 minute, and then we're going to take this up, and I'm going to take it up today over here. Yeah. Oh, way to go. Excellent, Santol. Okay, good. So that's working. Good. Okay. Yeah, just be ready because I'm going to ask you to come on to your microphone at some point. Okay? That's great. Good stuff. Okay, and I will do this. Let me try something here. Yeah, okay. And then for that, okay, 30 seconds. And I think I can pull this out a little bit. Camera controls out. Okay, so it's good. We can see the live chat, nice. And then just do this a little bit. There we go. Save preset 2, so I can go back and forth between here and here. Okay. Now, I know that's backwards up here, but Santol, on your end, do you see the smartboard backwards or the right way?
I see it the right way.
Excellent. Good. Excellent. Your microphone sounds great. We can hear you clearly. Okay, everybody, I think we're ready to take this up, okay? It's just the beginning, just the beginning. And I'm going to do a little something differently today is gradually in this space over these last weeks, I've been able to get back closer and closer to what I love is to be by a blackboard or our smartboard and be able to put things down, the critical things, so that there's a good set of notes for you after the class to work with. So I'm going to go over there, but that's only for the online students. And what I'd like is that you can look at me up there, you can look at me here, the in-person students. We'll figure out a way to do that, but most importantly is that the online students are going to see actually the script written on the smartboard the right way. It's just reverse because of this. So now the next thing to do is, Colin's looking for something. We need to bring a student up, just like last week, from each group, a different student who is going to explain why they have come to the conclusions they have. And I think I'm going to start over with the pessimists because they've been sitting quietly ready to begin. Would you make sure you both have microphones because you can both speak, or one microphone over there. You can stay sitting there. That's okay. Or you can come stand, but it's fine because what everybody sees online is this, okay? Ida, so you're okay as long as they can hear you. So for everybody online, everybody watching the recording, you are about to hear Ida. And if you remember Brave Ida from another class, she's going to explain along with Archer. There are only 2 pessimists right now in our entire class today. They're going to start to explain. Plus, Santol will join us online, and Santol, be ready to jump in as well, okay? And Ida, great. Okay, so I'm going to bring the proper slide over here. Let me get this here, Ida, so we're ready. And I'm going to, anytime.
Okay, so a thing that we talked about a lot more was, you know, what technology does for us, but to think about it a little bit less selfishly, maybe, and think of it outside of a Western lens. A lot of the stuff that we have is built on the backs of people of color. They're, you know, exploited. They're obviously like their quality of life is bad. And it also, I can connect this to something that you talked about, like
Yes.
oil in
Yes.
Saudi Arabia and how the sheikhs got really rich off of it.
Yes.
One thing that we don't talk about that is very, very prevalent in a lot of the Arab countries, a lot of these rich Arab countries, is that their economies are built on the backs of exploited
Yep.
immigrants.
Hmm.
Um, and I lived in Saudi Arabia for 14 years, so I
Oh.
saw, yes, I've seen how brown people, black people are. Well, I would say it's more brown people because it's all races and cultures there. It's just more so racism. Obviously, there is colorism. I'm not gonna like
Hmm. Hmm.
not say that there's not, but a lot of the people that were exploited to create a lot like it was more so construction. It was a lot of brown people that would be brought into the country under slave contracts, and they
Yes.
are
Yes.
treated horribly. They cannot go back home because they're essentially illegal in the country, and if they try to leave, they have no like visa, nothing. They have nothing to show that they were here in the first place, like legally. So now they're stuck, and it's when we think about it in that way, like technology, it honestly, the only reason that we have it is because of the exploitation of people of color.
Hmm.
And I think that we need to go back to our roots, to our nature. And I can talk about that through the lens of indigenous culture and
Yep.
um, a lot of the, okay, one big thing that I've learned while doing my own research and doing classes and stuff like that is to decolonize your point of view.
Yes. Yes.
And this class, I feel like it is a very Western lens. It's a very yay technology. We love technology. I'm the
Yes.
opposite.
Yes.
um, we need to decolonize the way that we think. A lot of the overconsumption of technology, the overconsumption of, you know, everything, like everything in our lives, clothes, fashion, blah, 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 like overconsumption, period, is something that arised from the idea of, you know, capitalism, which obviously did not exist before colonialism. Maybe it did exist, maybe I'm wrong, but not to the extent that we see it now. A
Sure.
lot of the and I say we need to go back to our nature because Earth is the only planet that we can live on. People talk about going to Mars. Okay, you get to Mars, and how long are you gonna be able to survive there? Let's be real.
Okay.
Is it
Let me stop for a
sustainable?
second because there's so much there and it's great. And I want to make sure that what I wrote up here is accurate. Okay. So I'm just trying to help extract some important. This is what started to come from Ida. And then we're going to get to Archer. Okay. We're going to get Archer's view and Santol. So we're going to have a really good set of notes that's going to be kind of uh, troubling about our future. Number one, exploitation will not stop. Wealth built on the backs of others will continue. Decolonization will never happen. Hmm. Therefore, what's the point of creating, Faith Lynn, all these beautiful new technologies where people have a hologram or some kind of digital virtual representation in front of them and they can have another person in another part of the world doing that if those people are wealthy and they're the only ones who have access to that technology? What's the point of having that technology then? Just think about it, okay? Just think about it. This is what we're trying to understand, okay? Is, you know, what position you have about the future. You will be thinking about this for your second assignment, by the way, a lot more. I posted that yesterday where you're going to be writing about your hopes for our collective future, your hopes. And right now, what Ida has said is not too hopeful. But let's see what Archer, do you want to add to this? And then Santol, and we'll have some good notes on the pessimism, okay? Please keep going, okay? And I'm going to make sure I have the right notes here.
Okay.
Carry on, okay?
Yeah, she touched on like most of the stuff I was going to say, but I would like to talk about the process of getting these devices and then afterwards.
Yep.
Firstly, to get these devices mass produced, it's usually produced by underpaid workers in terrible circumstances,
Yes.
taken advantage of. And afterwards, when you get the device, a lot of these people use it for malicious intent, as in like hacking or killing other people.
Okay, so let's see. Let's make sure we've. Is that exploitation? That's or is that something? Is that cruelty?
It is cruelty. People are often cruel.
Okay, so humans will always be cruel. Is that unfair? Like, is that too big of a statement, or do you feel like that captures a bit of?
It does.
Humans will always be cruel. Okay, let's make sure Archer has enough time to get his main points across, and then we're going to carry on. Okay, humans will always be cruel. Keep going.
I guess the fact that people will always find a way via like any means possible, even with technology, to put other people down in order to feel better, as long as they have like the human instinctual feeling of like greed or like the need to want something. I feel like there'll always be bad stuff happening.
Humans love power and to dominate other humans. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. Oh boy, we got some problems if this is what is really true. But we're going to see some different positions on this, okay? We've got some big problems. This means that all the technology, all the big things that we're going to create are just going to oppress us even more, enslave us. This is 1984, George Orwell, right? It's Orwellian. It's the more tech you have, the fewer people who have access to that tech, the more they can use it to control more people. Yikes. But actually, if you listen to Elon Musk today talk, he kind of does talk about things like that, like world domination, and I want to use this technology for everything. And it's just one guy. He doesn't even talk about all the other people in his company. He has a big company, but you think he's all alone because he likes the attention and he wants to be in control of everything and everybody. Yikes. Anything else, Archer? Okay, that's great. Santo, I'm going to leave you for a moment because I want to give the others a chance to offer their suggestions, and then we'll come back to you as well, okay? So just be ready.
Well, Archer and sorry, I forgot her name.
Ida.
They kind of touched on most of the points that I was gonna say, anyways.
Okay, well, is there anything you'd like to add? Just one. Here I am over the board again. I'll put it on.
Not really. No, I think they've touched on almost everything that I was going to point out. So I agree with them wholeheartedly.
Thanks for jumping on your microphone today, and we can get the real time going. Okay, we're going to go to the optimists now. Let's go to the other side of the, we've got 3 pessimists today, 2 plus 1 online, and then there's 4 optimists. So these are almost like the fringes, but maybe they're the ones we really need to be listening to. And you guys are just sitting on the fence. Just saying that. Just I don't want to, insult you. I would never insult you. Okay. So who's ready to? Do you want hello? Yeah. Why don't you come up? You can come up there and stand, or you can sit. Whatever is comfortable. Okay. No. And let me go over here. Pessimism about the human future, optimism about the human future. Hillel, just make sure you turn on the microphone, and here we go. Here comes the optimist.
Okay, so our discussion firstly went into exactly what we ended up defining as technology, and we came to the conclusion that technology isn't just like electronics, like our phone, coding, AI, our laptops, advancements in war, stuff like that. It's anything that's an advancement of human. Sorry, let me look at my notes.
Yep. Advancement. Oh, like
It's
advancement. Yeah.
it's an advancement of humans that is used for practical reasons. The really good example that we had is fire was a technology all the way back in the ice ages and back
Yes.
when we were literal cavemen, and we've always decided to make something as a need for something else. We need to stay warm, so we made fire. We needed to eat food, so we decided to cook food to make it more nutrition, taste better.
Yep.
Right? We had to kill these big mammoths to essentially get warm clothing, and that was dangerous as hell when you had to fight something that's 3 to 4 times your height, right?
Yeah.
With just a stick.
The mastodons that used to roam the Americas 15,000 years ago. You know, you used to be saber-toothed tigers. Today, where you have like Chicago and New York and, you know, other cities, just 15,000 years ago, there were no cities, and there were huge, giant animals, and we killed them all. It's called the megafaunal extinction. And we did it so that we could build new things that helped us.
And another point we went on across is that these technologies, these things will always have these negatives to it, but the positives usually most of the time will outweigh them. And people who try to abuse those powers, like for example, if you try to abuse fire, you will get scrutinized. And a really big thing is that we think about warm clothing, right? I'm assuming everyone here likes to stay warm during the winter. We don't really think about all the negatives. We think about all the positives, and there are still negatives. There are still people being exploited, but it really goes to show that as time moves on, the less and less exploitative. Sorry, I can't say the
Oh,
word.
yeah. As time moves on, there's this thing called progress.
Yeah, it's like as we progress.
Okay. No, I'm just, I'm going to put it here. Yeah. As I want to make sure that, oh, I'm trying to do too many things, but we'll get this straightened out. I'm trying something new today so I can get the right notes, which is the positives generally outweigh the negatives. Right? Okay. So positives generally outweigh negatives. And in time, progress takes place. Give it time. Okay. So, exploitation, cruelty, those kinds of qualities that we see in humans are actually getting better. And in time, they will become even less important because humans are learning. Humans are learning. Humans are learning. Is that okay, Hillel? Humans are learning. Okay? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So, as Ara said, did I pronounce it right? So, Ara said like the
Ira,
colonization
right? Ira, yeah.
happens, right? But I believe that it have a good benefits also. Like if the colonization doesn't happen, we will not be sitting here because I'm an international student. I came far from my country and learning here. As Era also said that she is from Pakistan. If the colonization doesn't happen, she will be not sitting here,
Mm,
right?
that's
But
true.
if the colonization happens, it is because of technology. We develop airplanes, we develop ships, so that we can come here and learn about the different cultures, learn about different things, like increase our perspective about the life, learn from different people. That's the thing.
This is very good. Let me write something down, then we'll give Ida a chance to respond. So we're starting with the debate. The
something?
debate seems to be going. Ida, hold your thought for 2 seconds,
add
okay?
first?
2 seconds. Just so Sujal, what should I write down here in a few words that is sort of like a summary, the headline of what you just said? You got it. Colonization. Colonization is not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be, was not used to be a bad, but some people make it bad.
Okay, but
Yeah.
once upon a time in India, not too long ago in the 20th century, before there was um, uh, a conflict,
Yeah.
and before there was a person who really represented this called Mahatma
And
Gandhi.
his birthday today.
What's that?
It is his birthday today. It's 2nd October. It's
Now
his
we
birthday
have
today.
now we have a teachable moment. Just a second. Just a second. Optimism. It's Mahatma Gandhi's birthday today.
Yep.
Just a second.
Gandhi Jayanti.
It's Mahatma Gandhi's birthday today. Okay. Today. We won't explain how he died because that's tragic. He was assassinated by a fanatic, a Hindu fanatic. Okay, wait a minute. Let's give Ida a chance. We're now starting to take off here. We're going to start to really work on these, and then we're going to come to the realists. We've got this group, and we've got this group, and time is also ticking. We only have about 15 minutes left, so
I don't. It's not a lot that I have to say.
go ahead, Ida.
Just in
Yes,
response,
please.
we didn't discover traveling just because of colonization. You can still travel, you can still learn, you could have still gone to different places. Colonization is bad and it will always be bad. And that is, I'm sorry if that's too
I
like
agree with you.
rough for someone to
Yes.
agree to.
Okay.
As a Pakistani, like, it's something that I will always be passionate about. While colonization was not necessary in any means, humans were still smart. Humans were still able to do things, and we had community. And a lot of people say technology brings accessibility. When you have community, you have accessibility, and people in the past had accessibility because they had community. And in colonization is the reason that we have the idea or the mindset of capitalism and individuality, which has led to there not being as much accessibility. So that's all I
So
have to say.
do you believe, Ida, that we will never change this model of, in order for humanity to grow, people have to be enslaved and suffer and oppressed because of it? In your view, you think that's the way it's always going to be?
I think that
'Cause that's colonization, which is
Yeah.
big power, whether it's Britain or United States or anybody, comes in, they have the power, and they take advantage of others. They take advantage of the resources, people, to get stuff for themselves.
Add
That's how
something.
the British Empire was built.
Can I add something, please?
Sure. Okay. Go ahead. Yep. Vanch. Okay. So optimist, pessimist. We got to come to real. Go ahead,
Okay.
Vanch.
How many people over here eat chicken?
How many people eat
Can
chicken?
you raise hand?
Chicken.
Everyone? It's cruelty also. It's not for human, but for chicken. Can you think that? It's not because of technology. They're not causing because of technology. It's because of the human. They're calling human over like Saudi Arabia and keeping their passport with them. It's not because of technology. You can mention that.
What? Say that again. What do you mean the chicken? Do you want to just clarify what you mean by the chicken example?
Because they're saying like cruelty like on humans.
Yes.
Causing. If we are empowered, we are also causing cruelty. It's not because of technology now.
Right.
Because we like it, we eat it.
So we're cruel
It's
to
not-
chickens? We're cruel to chickens?
Yeah, we are.
As a vegetarian, I believe.
Okay, but
We
that's,
are.
that's
true.
But it's
kind of-
not
kill.
because of
We kill the
technology.
chicken. Okay.
That's kind of missing the point of what I was saying, is because those people are there. They're being, they want, okay.
I got
They're
your
there
point.
because the people in power want advancement. They want more. They want like more money. Everything comes back to money. Technology, the only reason that you have it, the only reason that we all wanted, the reason that we even try to find new technology is because people want money.
Can I
At the
add?
end of the day, that's
Mm,
the core.
It's not because of technology. It's the human mindset. That's the
Yeah,
human
that's
mindset.
also
We
why I talked about decolonizing our mindset. That's what I'm talking
Decolonizing our
about.
mindset. Boy,
Yes.
that's a great
but
line.
it's not because of technology. Technology didn't make our mindset like that. We can say that it's because of our culture.
Yeah.
It's
But you
But
human
can
in
nature.
this class, we're talking about it in relation to technology. That's the
Yes,
perspective that I brought in.
you can also
but
relate it to technology, like from the
way
fact
to
that
go, Santo. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the technology wants people to have more, like gives the gives people more power. They'd want to have more and more power with certain technologies. So you could say that it's the technology that's creating that mindset. Like there's that whole other explanation that you can talk about. It's not just the human mind. There's so many other factors that play into it.
Santo, these are great insights coming from outer space. Way to go. Stay on your planet and stay connected. And if the weather gets really bad on planet Santo, just let us know and we'll come rescue you. Okay?
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
We want to get the realists in. Okay. Just Archer, go ahead, and then we're gonna let yep come in. Go ahead,
Okay.
Archer.
Although the technology doesn't like influence the human mindset, it enhances it, right? As the saying goes, bravery ended when you no longer have to look a man in the eye to kill him, and that's like the exact same thing.
Wow. Yeah, bravery. Technology has made us colder and more remote
Yes.
and more indifferent
Yes.
somehow. And of course, bravery goes in war when you have a big machine gun and you can just kill everybody and they're far away. You don't have to look at them anymore. What's brave about that? What's brave about driving a tank in and running somebody over? But if you have a sword and you have a knife and you're a Roman gladiator or a great Greek, or Thracian warrior, and you got to go up and you got to fight man to man or woman to man or woman to woman, and you see them, now that's brave. Technology is making us colder and more indifferent and more remote. And
I would
that's why you are pessimistic about the future, maybe?
I also would say it's making us colder. I would
Go ahead, Santo.
I would say it's like on Archer's point, you can't look anybody in the eyes anymore with problems. Everything's done over text, over Snapchat, Instagram, all of that nowadays. That's where most of the problems are being solved. Nobody's actually going up to somebody and looking them in the eye to solve a problem that they have with that person. There's nothing like that anymore. It's not over text or something like that. It's not. It's no more human to human interaction. It's human to screen to human to screen.
Well, I'm going to, Santo, what you've just said is very insightful. Please write that in the live chat. I want to make sure we have it there. And then I want to come over to the realists for a moment. Okay, Vanch, I need to want to give them a chance. You've also said something that has really advanced the conversation, Santol, and I thank you. So we're going to come back to that in a moment. Keeping in mind what he just said, that we humans increasingly are unable to look at each other in the eye when we have problems. We hide behind, or we use our machines. We text the solution to a problem. We text our anger or our grief or our happiness, but we can't seem to look at a person as much as we used to and do that. That's terrifying, isn't it? So could you speak to that, Colin, in terms of a realistic perspective on that statement? And it's good that you're thinking. Go ahead. Take your time.
Okay, first I want to say this. Bravery is good.
Bravery is
good. It's a good
Bravery is
it's a
good.
good quality to have.
Yeah, courage.
But
Sure.
say you do drop your gun or whatever, you pick up a knife. What if the other guy's better with one and you die? Oh, he died with bravery. So he's still dead. I would much rather have a gun and be alive than say, "Oh, I died with bravery."
Okay. All right. So rewind that for a moment and tell us why that's a realistic position. What's realistic about that?
You're dead. Who can? You're not gonna be lying there like, "Oh, I died with bravery," and
Okay.
then say 10 days later, no one's gonna know. No one's gonna care. But if you live, you can go on. You can continue to live your life, do something. Maybe you'll
Go in
do
jail.
something else amazing than other than just dying with bravery. It's, I'm sorry, to me, a lot smaller in the grand picture of your life that could have been, instead of, dying with bravery. It could have been guy that stepped first on Mars, or guy who cured cancer, but no, the guy died with bravery.
So, do we have to change our definition of what courage is and stop focusing on war, conflict, and killing people and defending ourselves when we might be killed? And we've got to remove the idea of killing from this whole discussion so we can talk about bravery in a new way?
Well, bravery isn't also just in the fight. Bravery can come from doing something hard. Like, take doctors for example. Actually, this just I've been watching
Go on.
the
Yeah,
Resident
sure.
recently,
Bravery
so
can come from
this
doing
just came to
something
my mind.
hard.
How brave do you think a doctor has to go to a grieving mother who just lost, say, her 5-year-old son from some disease and say,
Sure.
"Hey, I'm sorry, but we can help. Like, your son has died." Like, they have to go over and inform that.
That's courage.
Courage. That is brave. That is really hard to do.
Hard to do.
Bravery isn't fighting someone, or it's doing the hard thing. It's not taking the easy way out, which a lot of people do.
And does technology change what you just said in any way? The use or non-use of technology? Can the use of technology make us solve problems better and do harder things better? Can technology actually help us to do those hard things?
I think there's a misconception with technology. People seem to see it as an entity. It's not. It's a tool. Technology it doesn't have its own mind yet. AI can change that. I don't know, but at this point in time, technology doesn't have its own mindset. Doesn't have a plan. It's a tool that we use. Like, look, technology is right in my hand, and I'm just using it to speak louder for someone
That's
else
right.
to hear me.
That's right.
It's making the harder thing easier, but I could also just
Or you could use it as a weapon and hit Jazeel over the head with it too, because if it's your choice, it's your choice.
But it's just a tool. It's not something. But yeah, go ahead, Archer.
Okay. Do you want to say? Yeah. Go, pick up the tool. Pick up the tool. Go ahead, Archer. Yep.
The usage of said tools can either be inherently bad or good, though.
That's not the tool's fault.
Okay, but if I make an atomic bomb, so that way I can drop.
It's not the bomb that just went off.
No, but I built the tool. The tool that I'm using, I might use. Well, the intentional use of the tool is to kill a whole bunch of people.
This is a gun now.
Okay.
Bang.
Mhm.
You're dead. Was it the gun's fault?
Okay.
Or
what
was
did
it
you
me
make
for
the gun
pulling the
for?
trigger?
What is the?
It's a good
There's a gun
question.
there. Did it shoot you?
Why was the gun made in the first place, Colin? What was the point of making the gun in the first place? It's a very good question.
Defense. Who says it has to be used on a human? We can't kill a bear with our bare fists.
But you still made the gun with the intention of attacking someone or attacking something to defend yourself.
Okay, can we let just a second? We've got Faith Lynn wants to say, and I want to make. We've got only a few minutes left, but this is excellent. We will continue. But Faith Lynn, could you take the gun? I mean the microphone. Would you give her the gun? Or yeah. Oh no, give Faith Lynn first, and then Jazeel. Okay. Good.
I think the metaphor he was trying to, my perspective, it was like the gun, its only use is to kill or damage people. Unlike fire, which can use to um cook stuff.
You can take a plant and you can, create some nice, fried zucchini, but you can also kill an animal and create some nice, juicy, protein-rich meat, but you had to kill the animal to do that.
Like, what else are you gonna do with a gun?
Well, that's a fit. What else are you going to do with a gun but kill?
And also, there was this movie called The Iron Giant, which was like basically the whole entire premise was like, what if a gun had a soul?
Well, I would like to just put this thought down here, which I think is maybe one of our big, realism, forget it, it's too complicated, I'll do it afterwards. Would you say, as we end today's class, if that's a very realistic question, why would we make a gun other than to kill something? That's right. That's right. Why must we create weapons? That's true. But we've killed all the animals now. So why do we need these tools? Why do we need these weapons if all the animals are either endangered or dead? We need a microphone. Okay, good. Fair enough. Okay, hold on a second. I would like to say something about elephants right now. Have I said anything about elephants yet? Was it last week? Excellent. I said it last week. Let's be elephants again. We are right here, and you are right there learning and thinking and really engaging. Now is the time to end the class and let the rest just reverberate when you walk out of this room. Less is more. I would rather you walk out of here now and go, why is this class ending? And idiot teacher, and I had all these things to say. I would rather that be ringing in your head because I know you're now thinking. As a matter of fact, you have an assignment that's due tomorrow. For those of you who haven't started it to write it, you might have your topic right now. What's that? What's that, Faithlin?
Can we continue?
If you would like to. Oh, I know there's another class in here, but I will stay here until that class comes. It's up to you. So for any of you who would like to continue, I will stay here and continue with you. But to be fair to all the others who have other classes, they are free to go. So do not feel I'm not marking anybody for leaving. I'm not chasing after you, but you've asked a good question. So, okay, it's okay. Class has to end at some point, and hopefully in Kayla's head now, it's ringing in her head these questions about a gun and why would humans create this technology and does this sustain everything? And yeah, for your second assignment, maybe. Okay, you've already got your first one in. Way to go. Okay, everybody. Let Faith Lynn talk to Hillel, a student talking to Archer. Very good. Could you make sure you email me about, because I'm going to put you into the group and get you go. What is there anything in particular you'd like to fix? Oh, you got to meet some other young fixers who love computers. I think. Way to go. Yeah. Excellent. What? Terrific. Okay, well, you got to meet some. You got to come to this Repair Cafe on October the 19th, and hopefully you can be part of the team that sets up the big one here. And way to go! We got a few. Did you say Future Shop or Staples? So we got a Staples guy, 6 years, and we've got Archer, who's good. We're on our way. There's about 4 others from another class too.
Where's the conference being held?
The Repair Cafe?
Yes.
Cento?
Yes.
Well, actually, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have our own Repair Cafe in the global classroom here, a big campus-wide event that the students are going to create on December the 11th. That's the date we're moving towards. But on October the 19th,
Yep.
the Toronto Public Library in
Okay.
Toronto, there will be a repair cafe, and there will be a group going to that to shadow some of the fixers and others. There are 50 volunteers who will be there. The mayor of Toronto may even be there, and you're going to learn about what a repair cafe is to be able to start your own here. So if you're interested, Santo, just email me, okay?
All right, I'll email you when I
Yeah.
decide.
Excellent.
Within the next 2 or 3 days, you said, correct?
Yeah, you take your time.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna
Okay.
stay.
Good. All right, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna just end the live stream for a moment. So we're ending the class, everybody, but I'm gonna continue to talk to the in-person students here.
All
Let me
right.
just
Perfect.
see you next week. Yep.
I'll be in class next week, probably.
Great.
Actually.
Okay.
See you next
Terrific.
week.
Let me just end this. I have to save the live chat first, or I've really messed up. Okay. And actually, you know what I'll do is I'm just going to cut the audio for now.